Hey guys, just came back from my debut weekend with Jonesy and in Rally Novice up at American Canine Country up in Amherst, New Hampshire. Not gonna lie, little man freaking killed it. Very happy with him, and I have to say that a lot of the foundation stuff I put on him when he was a puppy and that I've been kind of bringing back into our training definitely showed up. So Jonesy had a ton of focus and had a lot of focus that was up there even with the dogs who were competing in obedience, like an open and utility. And I was flabbergasted because I really wasn't sure what to expect from him. So I'm going to say for people who are starting out in performance, and you may not be starting out with a puppy, and if you are, please take this advice to heart. So I find that a lot of people who are doing performance sports for the first time, usually kind of get into it with an older dog. And sometimes these people have a really hard time getting their dog to focus on them when they see dogs and people. And you're going to run into those things when you do training classes, when you do trials. So I'm going to tell you right now why people struggle with their dogs as they are older puppies or they're adults when they come into the performance world where the dog needs to focus on them was created by people socializing their dogs incorrectly. And also too, people, when they get these dogs, they think that their dog needs to meet everybody. So in the performance dog world, you the handler, you the owner, you need to be the most important thing in your dog's life. You need to be more exciting. You need to create a bigger payoff for your dog than meeting that person or that other dog or, whatever else is out there. Your dog needs to realize that all the good things come from you, not meeting this other person, not meeting this random dog on leash. When people are socializing their dog, somewhere out there, it ended up becoming a thing that your dog has to meet that person, has to meet that dog, has to play with that person, has to play with that dog. By doing that, your dog is having a positive experience with that object, person, dog. And they learn to ignore you because you're standing by passively letting your dog play with this person, play with that dog. And your value around other objects is decreasing, okay? When I'm socializing a dog or socializing a puppy, I want my dog to look at that thing and be like, hey, that thing's over there. I don't need to worry about that. I don't interact with that thing. That thing's just there. And, I give my dog free rewards for like looking at that thing, but looking back at me. And when they look back at me, I reward them. So my dogs, when they're youngsters, they learn that, hey, there's that thing over there. I'm not going to I don't need to go see that. I want my dogs to be neutral. I want my dogs to be able to say, hey, there's a dog over there. I'm not going to pay attention to that, because in my world, when I'm at a trial, when I'm at, class, when I'm in a seminar, when I'm training out in the real world for my performance stuff, I want my dogs to acknowledge that there's something over there initially, but then I want them to focus on me. So in our second run for Rally Novice, Jonesy just laid next to me. So there were some people in front of me who took a long time to finish their rally runs. Something that probably should have taken less than 10 minutes ended up taking probably closer to 20 with those 4 people. And I didn't want to put Jonesy back in his crate, or I didn't want to kind of, move Jonesy out of the way, because where rally was, I needed to be ready in case that person ahead of me didn't take 2 minutes to do a class or do a course. So I stayed ringside, and Jonesy gave me a lot of attention. People were walking right next to him. He was focusing on me. Dogs were walking right next to him and were in his space. He was focusing on me, giving me great attention. So in those close quarters, your performance dog needs to be able to focus on you and not give a flying shit about what else is around them. Okay. And I've created that by Jonesy having a way bigger payoff focusing on me than they did the other people or dogs. So, I think another thing people do with their dogs that kind of thwart this, being neutral around other dogs and stuff like that, are taking your dogs to dog parks. I think it's also taking your dog to doggy daycare. Because a lot of the times you take your dog to these environments and then they see a whole bunch of other dogs that they have free license to play with. And you're not there to manage any of that stuff, at least for doggy daycare. And your dog is there playing with other dogs for however long that they're there. And they end up creating a really positive experience playing with other dogs in a room, usually with matting, usually with fences. And same thing with the dog parks. You're standing there talking to your other dog owners and you're ignoring your dog. And your dog is playing with other dogs in an environment where you're standing there idly and your dog's learning to ignore you. So, like I said, I think that this is a big struggle for some people with dogs that they bring into the performance world that they are finding, with their dog at an older age. So, socialization has taken on something, in the internet, in the dog world, that it really shouldn't be. You need to be the most important thing in your dog's world around other, I'll call them distractions for lack of a better word. So, honestly, even in puppy class, I'm kind of an asshole. I don't let my puppies play with the other dogs in class because I don't want to set that precedence. At 8 weeks old, that you're in this class environment and everybody else there is more exciting than me. So I'm lucky that the people who I've taken puppy classes with understand my end goal and they do not ask me to let my puppy play with everybody in class, inside and outside of class. I want to become the most important thing in my dog's world. People are going to be like, oh, you don't ever let your dog play with other dogs. Gracie and Jones play with each other all the time. There are instances where I may meet my friends at the beach, off season, and, they can go and play on the beach with maybe another dog that belongs to a friend of mine. The beach looks nothing like the performance dog world. Okay, there's nothing there that's going to give a conflict of interest. I am very careful to let my dogs not interact with other dogs in an environment that looks a lot like a training class, that looks a lot environmentally like a trial. So, I really limit that. So that way I don't struggle with my dog not being able to focus on me or pulling me or lunging or trying to get to another person or another dog because they have had a history of having a positive, experience with that creature or that person. So, some things to think about when we're doing dog sports or you're getting into dog sports. I'm going to say if you found me and your dog has had, kind of, I'm going to say unlimited access to other people and dogs and creatures while they're on leash with you. And you're coming to me saying, hey, Chris, my dog can't focus on me around other dogs and people. You're going to have some work to do. And there is no easy way to fix this. So I'm going to be kind of like the Ghost of Christmas Future. If you are going to be getting another puppy or a very young dog that you want to do performance with, I'm going to say, watch this video, watch it again. And if you have that dog that you have created this history of being able to meet other dogs and other people out and about where they are losing their shit and dragging you and screaming and being reactive, that they can't go see that thing, you got some work to do. Okay. So, yes, I guess it's kind of like my first truth bomb, video about stuff where you guys are starting to see the real me and how I handle dog training. So, yeah. So I'm going to upload this to my Patreon, in the free section. If you guys, if you guys already know that, if you guys are watching this right now. So anyway, I need more coffee. I'm going to get my ass to work, and, I'm going to see if I can get some stuff up. But, I'm going to be quiet for a little bit just because I'm going to be going away on vacation. So, I might do some videos while, you know, the family is out doing things that I may be hanging out at the beach with a margarita. So anyway, have a great rest of your week, guys. I think I'm going to probably start going a little bit harder on obedience videos and rally videos on here, just because I think that that's where my focus is going to be probably the rest of the fall and the winter with Jones. It's going to be easier to do videos teaching this stuff while I'm deep in the throes of that. There'll be some agility videos here and there, but I think, like, yeah, I'm going to be doing a little bit more of that smart stuff instead of track and field. So have a good one, guys. Talk to you later.